and make some family memories right out there at Huber's. I'm excited about it. I'm going to be there. And Webby will be there and my family. So you make sure you come on out. And again, if you have been listening to WFIA for 50 years or, maybe even 40, just call because we've got someone, I want to say that's maybe 46 years, I heard. But if you exceed that, we really, or even close to that, we really want to know because we'd like to kind of spotlight you out there. So I tell you what, why don't you give Gary a call, 571-2428, and let him know that you've been listening a really long time, and we'll call you back, all right? So make sure that you do that. I'd love to know that because, I've been here in the Louisville area from Atlanta, Georgia for 23 years. And I tuned into WFIA immediately when I got here. It was really important to me, to my family, to find a Christian radio station. And I wanted one that was going to provide wholesome talk. And we like listening to talk radio, and WFIA was there. But I understand, I think, Gary, am I right, that there was even music played on WFIA originally? He nods his head yes. So, we want to hear from you if you've been listening that long. Now, coming up next, Dennis Miller, Mopping Floors to CEO. I'm anxious for you to hear him from hopelessness and failure to happiness and success. And he is quite a success story. So we'll be hearing from him coming up next, right here on WFIA The Spirit, your station and mine, celebrating 50 years and still going. We'll be back. Don't go away.
WFIA The Spirit.
At last, summer camps at Sayers Classical Academy.
Dennis Miller
Camps
is ready
start
to go.
June 6th. With so many different offerings, all the kids can be at one location at a price we can afford. I can't wait to tell the kids. Hey, kids.
Yes, Dad.
Great news. You can go to summer camp at Sayers Classical Academy. Who's interested?
Oh, I am.
Great. There's basketball.
I'm doing basketball.
There's sewing.
Oh, I'm doing sewing.
Oh, what a surprise. Of course she's sewing.
Now, who's doing archery?
Oh, cool. I've always wanted to do archery.
There's volleyball.
Can I, Mom?
Honey, there's even vocal camp, choral camp.
La, 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 la.
They can all use lessons, can't they?
Yeah. There's soccer camp, too, and even painting classes.
And drama camp and theater camp.
Chess camp, golf camp. Hey, honey, are parents allowed to attend?
Okay, sewing, volleyball, and soccer for me.
Basketball, drama, and chess. That's what I'm going to do.
I'm doing archery, golf, and painting.
Sayers Summer Camps, starting June 6th, ending July 30th. You'll have a hard time choosing.
Find out more at SayersClassicalAcademy.org.
That's SayersClassicalAcademy.org.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson. Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisements. Services may not be available in all states. Attention women. New evidence shows that talcum powder products such as Johnson & Johnson's baby powder and shower to shower may cause ovarian cancer. If you or a loved one use talcum powder and were diagnosed with ovarian cancer, call 800-401-3160 right now. You may be entitled to significant cash compensation. Recently, Johnson & Johnson was ordered to pay $72 million in damages to the family of a woman who died of cancer she said was caused by the company's talcum powder. The jury found that Johnson & Johnson knew that these products could cause cancer and failed to warn consumers. If you or a loved one used talcum powder and were diagnosed with ovarian cancer, call 800-401-3160. You may be entitled to cash compensation. Time is limited. Call 800-401-3160 now. Our toll-free phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-401-3160. That's 800-401-3160. 800-401-3160.
Do you have a family member who's getting older and can no longer be safely left alone? With Visiting Angels America's Choice in Senior Home Care, your parents and older family members can continue living at home and not have to move into a nursing home. Experienced, compassionate caregivers provide assistance in hygiene, meal preparation, and light housework up to 24 hours per day at affordable rates. To restore your family's peace of mind, call Visiting Angels toll-free today at 877-374-LIVE or at visitingangels.com.
Connect with Southeast Christian Church in the Louisville area through our weekly Southeast TV broadcast, Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. on Wave 3. Episodes include powerful testimonies, community partner profiles, and messages from Pastors Dave Stone and Kyle Eidelman. We think you'll relate to the stories, be inspired by the teaching, and feel more connected to our community and to Jesus. We hope you will join us by tuning in Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. on Wave 3 for Southeast TV.
You're listening to Just Ask Joyce on WFIA, The Spirit.
Thank you so much for joining me today, and I am so pleased to introduce you to Dennis C. Miller. Yeah, not the one on O'Reilly. Hi, Dennis. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Here. Thank you.
Well, it's good to have you here. Now, I'm going to tell you, your book starts out with you in a really destitute kind of situation, Dennis. You're depressed. You are eaten up with anxiety and stress, and you find yourself, we find you being checked into a hospital.
I self-admitted myself. I begged my parents to take me to a psychiatric hospital when I was 20 years old, almost 21. I just was so depressed. I was so distraught. I was so anxious. I just couldn't cope with life, and I just needed to reach out and get some help. I couldn't handle life anymore. It just was very difficult for me. 20
years old. Yeah, that's history, and isn't that great when we can say that? It's behind us. But 20 years old. Now, how did you, that's awfully young to be eaten up that badly where, it's like, okay, I recognize that I need help. I think that was the first stroke of wisdom for you, Dennis, quite frankly, for you to recognize it, because so many times, our loved ones have to be the intervener in our depression and anxiety, but you stepped in and said, you know what, I can't cope with this anymore, and if I do, I might hurt myself. So, but how did you get there? What catapulted you into that state?
Yeah, but I never actually ever thought about hurting myself. I just never thought about that. Mm-hmm. But I kind of quit. I grew up, like a lot of your listeners, I grew up in a very abusive household, emotionally abusive and sort of traumatized. And, my dad was a talented man, but very abusive, verbally, a little physically, mostly verbally. My mom was a good woman, but became clinically depressed and withdrawn and sad with his abuse. So I my siblings too, so I kind of grew up feeling alone. And I did not do well academically at all. I didn't get into any college out of high school. I graduated at the bottom of my class. And the only college I got into was a county college, and I did that. But when I came out of county college, I just had no structure, no life, no connection, and eventually it just got to me a point that I just couldn't cope, and I needed help, and I did, thank God.
And, but you allowed the doctors and the psychiatrists in there to work with you. But you had to make a choice, didn't you, Dennis, that, you know what, I'm not going to be here. I'm not going to allow myself to stay in this state for the rest of my life.
Well, a couple of things, yes. I did do that. What happened was, a priest came to visit me from our local parish, and there was something about him that was very calming in his demeanor, and so when I left in a month, I went to see him, and make a long story short, at one point I went to see him, I was so distraught, I opened up and I cried, and then he kind of held my hand, he was very supportive, and he was able to help me get into the programs I needed. But the things I think that helped me move myself from there to kind of here was that I accepted responsibility for myself. At some point in life, you got to sort of stop blaming other people and blaming your parents. You got to, develop a positive attitude and realize you got to take responsibility for yourself.
Amen.
Number two, I knew that I wanted to have a good life. I dreamed of it. So I envisioned it, and then I knew I had to work towards that. I was, I don't know if you call it stubborn, but I was just determined. Here's what I was determined to succeed, but once I got into a day hospital program and I was 21 that went Monday through Friday, I was in a group setting. It was the first time I felt cared for, I felt accepted, I felt safe. So emotionally, I began to change. I began to emotionally heal to that process. Because of that, I had this wonderful appetite for learning. I read a lot of books. I really had this thing about a good life. So it was because of my emotional healing that I was able to change my life and do the things I've done.
Well, and I love the steps that you've taken us through, taking responsibility for yourself. So many times, Dennis, people want to, as you said, blame others, and and we just continue to use that as a crutch. But